Sometimes you need a quick fix. Sometimes you need to make your marriage better right away without long conversation. We can do that in 4 ways. There's the how, the what, the where, and the when. Let's start with the how. The first thing is, you can make your marriage better now. We have this mistaken notion that everything in a marriage must be solved by mutual conversation, communication, and resolution. It doesn't take 2 people to make a relationship better. 1 person can make it better for 2 people. One of you can make it better for both of you. Just do it. Do a better job. Do what you know will make your marriage better. And it doesn't have to be a conversation. It doesn't have to be an agreement or a contract. You've already signed the contract. You're married. So, one of you can make it better for both of you. Don't wait. Do the good thing yourself, and the marriage will be better. That's how. The idea that marriage is a 50-50 is a very dangerous concept, because who's keeping score? 50-50? What if it's 51-49? So stop keeping score. Stop thinking that it takes 2 people to be good. 1 person, every person, can be good, and you can do it today. Now the who.
Before I continue with my monologue, where I do all the talking, I want to invite you to a VIP session, a Zoom session, in which we get together to actually have a conversation and discuss all things Jewish, all things holy, all things healthy. So click on the link below and join us, where we can have a 2-way conversation.
We have this idea that a man and a woman get married, and that makes them a couple. That can be dangerous. You have to become a husband and wife. You've got to stop being man and woman. Men are from Mars. Women are from Venus, and they should not get married to each other. But husbands and wives belong in the same universe. Because a man can do just fine without a woman, and a woman can be fine without a man. But a wife can't exist without a husband, and a husband cannot be without a wife. So, you've got to stop being a man, and you've got to stop being a woman, and start thinking like a husband, thinking like a wife. There's a huge difference. And ask yourself this question, ask your friends this question. What is the difference between a husband and a man? And no nasty jokes. What is the difference between a wife and a woman? Now, in popular culture, women are glamorous. Wives are desperate. Men are interesting. Husbands are nerds. That's a very bad message. We got to turn that around. A man doesn't need a woman. A husband needs a wife. And a woman doesn't need a man. That's a mistake. A wife needs a husband. So God invented marriage, meaning He invented a way for a man and woman to be able to get along even though they're man and woman. And the way they can get along is when they become necessary for each other. When you switch from thinking like a man to thinking like a husband, you have become available to your wife. When you switch from thinking as a woman to thinking as a wife, you have become a life partner. That's the key. And you can do it today. That may take a little thinking, though, because you got to really switch the thought pattern and the impression that we have of who we are in the relationship. So, the who means, who are you in this relationship? If you're trying to maintain a youthful self, then you're not participating. If you have any other agenda in the relationship besides the relationship, you're doing something unnecessary, you're complicating things, and that might cause whatever problems exist. So, be a husband, be a wife. That really is much more glamorous than a man and a woman. Then there's the where. This is very practical. When you're speaking to each other, be present in the same space. Do not speak to each other from across the hall, from down the other side of the house, or from the basement. Don't call to each other like working people, like construction people. Don't talk to each other in the wrong tone. Sound like husband and wife. There's a tone. There's a sound that is appropriate. Child, parent, employer, employee. There's a tone you use, and you know the right tone when you're talking to a customer. You know the right tone when you're talking to an employer. You know the right tone when you talk to your child. Use the right tone when you speak to your spouse. The right tone is be present, speak face to face, respectfully, with dignity. Calling from the other side of the house, that's the wrong where. It's the wrong location. And that produces the wrong sound. So maintain the dignity of your spouse. Never summon your spouse from another room. It grates on the ear. It hurts to hear a husband say to a wife, or a wife to a husband, "Come here." You say that to a dog, and the dog usually listens. But don't do that with a spouse. That's not the right tone. So the where means, where are you coming from? Not just the physical location, but also the emotional space. Are you summoning? Are you warning? Are you threatening? Are you talking down? Don't do that. So the where means, when you want to speak to each other, be present. Go to where the other person is and speak appropriately. Number 4. What? What should you do and what should you not do? Well, there's a long list of that, but let's talk about only one of them. What you should do is what your spouse asks you to do, and not more. Of course, you shouldn't do less, but don't do more. If you're really listening, if you're really present, if you're really thoughtful, do what she asks. Don't improve on it. Don't do more. Don't do one better, because that means you're not really listening. You're coming up with a better idea. If she wants one flower, one rose for the little bud vase or whatever, bring one. Don't bring a dozen. Don't show her that you're better than she thinks you are. Just be there for her. Do what she asks. Don't do more. So many husbands are frustrated because they always do more and they don't understand why it's not appreciated. I mean, if one flower was good, if you would love me for one rose, how much should you love me for 12? It doesn't work that way. 12 was your idea. 1 was her idea. So don't try to be better. Don't try to prove anything. If she says 1, buy 1. And make sure it's the exact color she asks for. Make sure it's the exact size, because it pleases her. So don't do what pleases you. Don't do what you think will impress. Do what she asks. And the same for a wife to a husband. There's something very comforting and something very complimentary when you do exactly what was asked, because you're concerned to be true and exact, to match her needs or his needs. So when you do that, you're really being very complimentary. It makes people feel very good when you take them seriously. And you know that that works with customers, you know that that works with friends. They're not nearly as important as your spouse. So those are the 4 ideas. You can do them all today. It doesn't take a lot of time. It doesn't take 2 people. You can do it yourself. Start now. Your marriage will be better by tomorrow. All right, the day after tomorrow. So send in a comment, send in a question. Let's keep the conversation going, and the world will become better. If you enjoyed this conversation or this topic, and you're looking for more information, or you want to hear it again from another angle, there's a way to do that. And that is in this book. It's all there. Order it from Amazon. You can read it, reread it, and share it.